So
Well,
today's been kind of late, huh?
today's really late,
Yeah,
and daylight savings is not helping that at all. It is dark out there.
it's wonk. I went to sleep and then I was like, oh, it's 2, and I woke up an hour later for some reason, and then it was like, wait, why is it still 1? And then I was
I
like, oh, DST.
I was working on like a video or something, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's daylight savings.
I don't like it, but
I don't either. It's just, I don't know, it's been a long day, long night. Also, how is it 6:15? We usually start recording these around like 5.
yeah, we do.
Don't we also like finish these outlines ahead of time? Definitely.
Yeah. Well, not for the last week.
Not for the last since like first 2 episodes.
Yeah, since basically like since school started, I guess.
Yeah. August was a good streak.
August was indeed a very good streak. We had everything up and ready. We uploaded most things in time. It was good.
Didn't keep up the Instagram. That's always been something that's been uniform. We should start working on that more.
Yeah.
We should get a bot. I need to ask our lead programmer guy to like make a bot that just does that for us.
That does what?
And just like post on Instagram what we want whenever we want. That would be really good. I don't know. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Engineers. I can definitely think right. Everyday Engineers, welcome to another episode. I'm your host this week for Space Week, Mr. Derek Lee Pham.
And I am the other host, usually the host for Space Week.
What?
Not you. I'm always what? And the co-host of this entire podcast. Wow, that's crazy. I'm Steven Panda.
We did so great on those intros.
It's the intro of all time.
You're welcome, world. You now know my middle name.
Wow, I don't have it.
That's crazy. Genuinely, that's crazy. 'Tis the season of SpaceX is also crazy. But unfortunately, I don't know. It's not unfortunate. Great thing. SpaceX is a great thing. And that's basically what we're all going to be talking about today. Because a lot of it's just SpaceX. Yeah.
SpaceX over.
And podcast over. The end.
What?
It's all about SpaceX. The end. Let's go.
Whee!
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah. It's the start of a new season. It's not the holidays yet. I don't believe that the holidays should begin until about halfway through November. And to all you people that think it happens the day after Halloween, you're wrong.
Very.
You're very wrong. At the very least, it should start in mid-November.
Mid-November sounds good.
Yes.
I would say, like, the people who are celebrating, like, Christmas right now, who should just, like, no.
Bro, I went trick-or-treating, and at least 5 houses I've seen were, like, already had the Christmas lights up. Like,
Bro, what?
yeah.
Well, there are some people who are, like, they put them out for Diwali, which is
True.
fair. But the people who put it up for Christmas, no.
Crazy.
Too early.
Some of them were beautiful, but I liked the Falcons that were launching this past week. That were a lot more beautiful, in my opinion. So,
I would agree.
kicking off the week with Falcon 9, a Galaxy 33 and 34, the first Intelsat mission with SpaceX since 2017. Could you believe it? And no, it's not the same Intel we all famously know.
Not love, but no. Yes.
I still have that Intel 50-year anniversary pin just sitting on my nightstand because I just stare at it every day and like, that's the lamest 50th anniversary pin I've ever seen.
I'll admit, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't even have the right logo. Anyways, this launched on October 8th and was the 14th launch and landing for booster 1060, tying it with the fleet leader B1058. So I feel like we've heard those numbers a lot, B1060 and B1058, throughout like all of our episodes.
Kind of, yeah.
And also the 5th flight for Pharynx. And also, if you see that, that is footage from a shortfall of gravitas that basically captured the entire like launch sequence leading up until like, I think, second engine shutdown. I don't remember, but it looks really good. Twilight launches are always my best. I love them.
Yeah, that's really cool. Very nice picture.
Very, very nice picture.
Pictures.
Honestly, though. All right, next launch. Eutelsat Hotbird 13F. Say that 3 times fast.
Eutelsat Hotbird 13F. Eutelsat.
Yes. You've experienced Derek syndrome of speaking way too fast. Or not being able to speak at all. Well, I just remember, like, not speaking in one of the episodes.
Wait. The voice.
That honestly might be our worst episode to date.
It's the funniest, though.
Yeah. But it was, okay, but we had such good audio from, like, the last time we recorded that one, too. But somebody forgot to wear their headphones. Me. So, we got that. Very sad.
Yeah, we had a really good... We might do that as a special edition episode, we'll see.
We'll just, like, take it down, and there's gonna be a jump, and they're like, how come we skipped? Alright, anyways, Eutelsat Hotbird 13F launched on October 15th, and it was the 3rd flight for booster 1069. Nice! That's all I could really say. Nothing really happened with Eutelsat. It was pretty chill.
Yeah.
And then we had Starlink 436 on October 20th, which is now the 10th flight for booster 1062, and puts over 3,229 Starlink satellites in orbit. And then we had Starlink 431 on October 27th. It was the 8th flight for booster 1063. And that's about all the Starlink we had this month. Not a lot compared to past months, honestly.
Well, there's that one.
Yeah. Well, there's also a big announcement this month, and that is Starlink Aviation. Yes, that is a real thing. Yes, that's actually the name of it. And yes, it's by SpaceX. It is high-speed, low-latency Wi-Fi. Big shocker. Aboard aircraft. It's going to be in a low-profile terminal, which is going to help with the aerodynamics and overall just fuel efficiency and flight efficiency. It's still in development, and all deliveries begin in 2023. Allegedly.
I'd imagine this is going to be a pretty good service.
Yes. And of course, the most beautiful Falcon of the week, and the only one we have actual pictures from, USSF 44, launched on November 1st, and is the 4th Falcon Heavy flight to date. Its first classified flight carrying 2 classified USSF payloads for the United States Space Force, and the first Falcon Heavy mission in 3 years. God, it's been long enough.
Very. It's been way too long.
But then I practically cried on launch day because it was foggy when it launched.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Tracking shots on the way up weren't so bad, but pad shots were like, why? It looks so bad. Gosh dang it. Frickin' Vandenberg fog cursing Florida now at this point.
Yeah.
It's all Vandenberg's fault.
Blame.
California. Well, we can't say it's California's fault because like headquarters is also over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, NASA facility. Isn't Ames up there?
Up in California?
Yeah.
I think. Well, JPL's there. Ames is there. Well, Ames is a little bit further north in San Fran.
I still remember to this day the conversation we had about Ames, and I don't want to get back into it.
I saw Ames. I didn't go there. I just saw it.
It's crazy. What else? Oh yeah, the booster profile for this mission, the side boosters had their standard dual RTLS, which is just both flying them back to their respective landing zones. Not a simultaneous landing anymore, because I don't know why they even did that the first ever flight, but it is a staggered landing, meaning one of the boosters come in first and then followed by a second one about a couple of seconds later. Safety reasons, but I don't know why they didn't do that in the first launch, but I'm glad we do it now. And then these side boosters marked the 149th and 150th successful Falcon recovery. So good landmark. And then the core was expended. But there's a link I'll show you real quick. But basically, this is a almost not really a 360, but it's basically a camera shot from right next to the side boosters landing. Let me open that up.
Was this taken by a person?
It was a robotic camera.
It's like slightly shaky, so I'm like, is this person? But like, it can't be. But it was like, yeah, a little weird, but it's cool.
It was probably tracked by one of the Cosmic Perspective people, but it was a robotic camera, meaning they weren't actually there for obvious reasons.
Very obvious, yes. Look at that debris.
At least it didn't come from your favorite Long March 5B.
The Long March would land on top of the camera.
I don't think it would land on top of it. I think it'd be at least a few miles off at worst.
You would, not at worst, at best.
That's true.
It would be landing in the Pacific.
Yes. And, well, that's foreshadowing. We'll get to that. Anyways, moving on to another launch. Hotbird 13G. Crazy. We're already on 13G. No, we're not. Pretty much also an uneventful flight. Launched on November 3rd. 7th flight for B-1067. Yeah. And that pretty much wraps up all the Falcon sightseeing we've had this past month. So, that was fun. But that doesn't stop there. We got updates from Polaris Dawn. They released their experimental list, which is basically all the experiments they're going to be doing in flight. And one of the biggest ones is going to be radiation testing, seeing how all their bodies are affected by long-term radiation.
Nice.
Very nice. And then, probably the biggest surprise of the week in terms of Falcon. Actually, no. That's foreshadowing for later. Euclid Space Telescope is a telescope being designed that was supposed to launch on a Soyuz, but it doesn't launch on there anymore for obvious reasons. But it's leading towards launching aboard a Falcon 9.
Good.
Very good. ESA choosing Falcon 9 over Ariane 6 because Ariane 6 isn't it hasn't flown yet, so that's a big reason, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The Space Telescope, it aims to better map the geometry of the universe. So basically just taking what the dimensions of the universe are, further expanding on it, seeing how accurate it actually is, and specifically looking more into the mysterious dark matter and dark energy that surrounds us.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Those are things that are kind of fundamental to our current understanding of space and just science in general, and we don't know a whole lot about them, so it's great that they're trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And aboard the Falcon 9.
Nice. Falcon.
They won't be discovering things aboard the Falcon 9. They'll be scrunched up in a little ball, they being the telescope. But once it's out, I'm sure.
Whoa, that's crazy. What's that little hole in the side of the fairing? Uh-oh. I didn't put this on there, but didn't like James Webb take a picture of the pillow's creation this past month as well?
Yes,
Looks
James Webb have
so
been
good.
so good.
For reals though. Like I James Webb, like people like hyped it up and it is still being hyped, and that's a good thing.
It deserves the hype.
It does. I don't know if this deserves the hype though. OneWeb is back to flight. That in itself deserves hype, but it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
OneWeb 14. It launched aboard the Indian Space something ISRO. ISRO. I don't remember the entire acronym.
Indian Space and Research Organization? That's what I think it is. Yes, Indian Space Research Organization.
What he said. It launched aboard their GSLV. I'll get to that in a little bit. On October 22nd. And this was the first launch since the decision to shift away from launching aboard a Soyuz for reasons.
That's been a commonality.
Yeah. Wonder why we don't see much coming out of Soyuz these days anymore. Or
I wonder.
much other than the actual Russian Roscosmos stuff. Anyways, OneWeb has planned 4 more launches. 3 of those will come from Falcon 9 and 1 more from ISRO.
Nice to see that the Indians 3 little rockets are doing something.
They're not little. They're pretty big.
They are a little big, but yes. Little as in use.
Little in use. Well, this clears up a bunch of stuff for you. Actually, I learned this a while back, and I just never put it down on paper because I'm like that. The Indians have 3 launch vehicles: the GSLV, the PSLV, and the upcoming SSLV. I think SSLV had its inaugural test flight not too long ago. But to break down all the acronyms, GSLV stands for Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, launching all basically your communication satellites or just it's the heaviest rocket they have. So basically anything you need to yeet anywhere, they'll throw it.
You got the big yeet, the medium yeet, and
the big yeet satellite launch vehicle. That's funny. Like, that's too funny. That's the best joke I've heard out of your mouth all week.
that means the bar is very low.
Anyways, moving back on. The quote-unquote medium yeet, or PSLV, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, guess what it does? It launches everything to a polar orbit. It's crazy.
No way.
No way, right? That's crazy. And then the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, SSLV, I believe it had its recent inaugural test launch sometime last year. And guess what it does? You wouldn't believe what it does. It's crazy.
What?
It launches small satellites.
Whoa! No way.
Crazy. Isn't that true? That's so crazy.
That's so crazy. I never guessed.
Indeed. Yeah, the Indians really do be doing a service by making everything sound so simple in the naming scheme. All of it has launch vehicle, and all you need to put is what orbit it's going to, or what it's doing.
Fair.
Take notes, SpaceX. God. And NASA, too. God.
Yeah, exactly. What is going on?
No hate. SLS is catchy, but space launch system?
Isn't everything you make a space launch system?
The consecutive 150th landing by SpaceX's space launch system, Falcon 9 edition.
All space launch systems.
No, clearly all of the rockets are just space launch system, and each of them has their own special nickname, like Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy or or Ariane 5 or Atlas 5. Clearly.
Why don't we call it Saturn V Heavy?
Honestly, though, I would like that. That'd be a good name. You know what I would like? The Artemis 3 landing on the moon, right? They have what is it called? Like Saturn V and Apollo era painting schemes, because that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Oh, I didn't forget to add that in there at the bottom. I'll try to remember that. Anyways, OneWeb. Ready for the giant rabbit hole this week that is Starship?
Alright, well, you gotta dive into it sometime.
Pageless format makes this look better, but not.
Yeah. There's not much improvement that can be done, but whatever improvement that there is has been done, so
yeah. Hey, just be glad that this isn't the start of the episode. Well, we're gonna lose so many people to this giant rabbit hole.
Well,
I need water. Oh.
You have been warned, listeners.
I warn you. I second. Alright. Jumping on the rabbit hole, let's start off with Booster 7. It returned back to the orbital launch pad, and to put into perspective, it's made this rollback a total of 5 times since March.
What?
Yeah, so like every other month, it had a rollback. Because it went boom. Well, it had testing. It went back. It went boom. It went back. It went back again. Did a little bit of chill-ish booms. Went back, and now it's back again. And basically, the bunch of the times it went back for quote-unquote robustness upgrades. That basically, to put it in layman's terms, it prevents booms. The recurring theme of booms here. Oh, I am struggling. Why don't you take over the next couple? I need, water.
Yes, so... What are we on? Let's see. So, underwent robustness upgrades. I think we might have already covered that. I was in the middle of something. Hold on. I should not be doing that, but whatever. Yes, they went robustness upgrades, and they used a foil-like material to cover Raptor plumbing. I wonder if this is the same kind of foil-like material that they cover a lot of their satellites in. Not Starship, but whatever you cover satellites with.
It could be. I mean,
for deflecting.
I don't have a picture of it, but it's temporary. It's not permanent, obviously, but it was just temporary, and I wonder if it is.
I mean, it could make sense if it's just deflecting thermal radiation. Well,
I don't think it could really do that much of a good job if it was specifically that purpose, because I think the sun, that far away in space, is different than a boom caused by methane and oxygen.
True. I don't know.
So. Okay. I can take the reins back from here, unless I start dying. As on cue. Orbital launch mount had a lot of calibration on the hold down clamps and performed a subsequent simultaneous test of just releasing and re-engaging the clamps. Basically, think of it like drag racing. You want to have a really good timing with whenever the light goes green, and basically they're just trying to do that. And then we hit the other rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. Rabbit hole conception, not conception, inception, right?
Yes.
Inception. Inception. Not conception. Rabbit hole conception has been a thing for a while. Anyways, rabbit hole inception. Chopstick issues. That's crazy. Almost like the third time we've talked about it on this podcast.
Wow.
Ship 24, in its first test to lift onto Booster 7, it failed.
Oh.
And essentially, there are these cushion blocks on the chopsticks that basically prevent the heat tiles from rubbing up against like pure metal and, causing problems. But those cushion blocks were too big and basically prevented the pins on the chopsticks to engage the, what is it? The engagement pins on ship 24, meaning that if you tried to lift, you would go boom.
Ooh.
Boom as in the drop, not as in boom as in if the pins try to engage.
Oh, okay.
They're not hypergolic pins.
It's like basically.
Pad, we had a issue. One of the pins just seemed to go hypergolic on us.
It's like, oh, well, that's something.
Genuinely, if SLS had that, like whenever it was having all the tanking issues, and someone said that, I'd laugh my pants off. We just had hydrogen go hypergolic with nitrogen. Everyone go crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
It's not possible. Theoretically. I don't know. I need to search up the hypergolicity of hydrogen and nitrogen. I doubt it's good. I doubt it even exists, but I don't know. It'd be funny. Okay. It did fail to lift onto Booster 7, but shortly after that, it was able to lift onto Booster 7, and this is the first time Ship 24 and Booster 7 have ever mated. And believe it or not, this is the first full stack since Booster 4 and Ship 20 back in March. So, that's fun. It's just almost like one of them didn't go boom. Crazy.
Whoa.
They were destacked soon afterwards, though, and mainly it was because of, if you were looking at camera shots, prior to Ship 24 being stacked on Booster 7, it was leaning towards the tower, like, significantly enough to be noticed on the camera, and whenever you stack Ship 24 on it, it leaned back just a little bit. So, that's not good. That is definitely not good. It is not a boom, but it is still not good.
Yes, it is a potential for boom, potential energy.
Potential energy for boom.
One might call it.
That's okay. Well, I'm that rabbit hole, man. That hurt my brain. Ship 25. Okay. Ship 25 was also rolled to the orbital launch pad. It was lifted onto suborbital pad A, and you basically had 4 vehicles at the pad. You had, what is it called? Booster 7, Ship 24, Booster 8, and Ship 25. But we'll get back to that a little bit later, because that's its own rabbit hole. Within a rabbit hole, within a rabbit hole.
Wow.
Rabbit hole inception times 3.
Oh, rabbit.
Our humor is so broken. I was watching this Instagram reel the other day, and I was like, if you smile, you have broken humor. And it was just bread spinning.
Oh, in the washing machine?
Not the what. Think of it like, like those cameras that gyro and gimbal around on like a turntable?
Yes.
Basically, it was doing that for bread. It was, I don't know why I smiled. It was like funny to me. So, we have broken humor. See, you laugh. I didn't laugh. I smiled.
I'm pretty sure I did laugh at the deeds. It was bread in a washing machine for me, though. It wasn't the gimbal.
Had a little chuckle at that. Okay, I'll give you that.
Take their phone at the in the washing machine, put a piece of bread down with string, and then just started spinning it. Floating in this empty thing.
How much you would have bet an engineer probably did that?
That's so stupid.
I mean, I'll say it time and time again. Engineers, we're among the smartest breed of humans on Earth. And we're also, like, the dumbest at the exact same time.
Yes.
Like, you don't see a doctor doing dumb stuff. You see engineers doing that.
Yeah, it's entirely just like engineers being like,
We're designed the biggest and most powerful rocket in humanity. Let's also park our cars underneath fuel tanks.
let's park our car in the rocket. Put a dummy in.
You said that, and as soon as you said that, I thought of the Falcon Heavy demo flight with the Tesla Roadster.
That is exactly what I was referring.
Hey boss, we're out of parking spaces. What am I gonna do? Just park it inside the rocket. We'll launch it up for you. We'll reimburse your car.
All right.
Okay, anyways. After we jumped out of that rabbit hole within a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole, we are somewhere. We are somewhere along this page. We are on ship 24 being restacked on booster 7 again.
Whoa.
But get this, while ship 25 was being lifted onto suborbital pad A, we just went back in time. It's crazy. We went back in time, and then we went back in time again. So now we're back in time, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole.
I'm so lost, but
I would be too. I'm trying to like imagine this, like explaining this to Adele and seeing how lost her face would be.
it's like I'm lost.
I motion for this meeting to go back in time, back in time, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole. That would be I honestly, if we ever meet again, which we might never, other than like the screening, I will do that. I will consider doing that. Okay, anyways, after we jumped out again, once it was restacked, there was a full speed quick disconnect test, and it was really good. It looked very clean. Surprise, surprise, it's just quick disconnect test, so it disconnected from the ship quickly.
Did it disconnect quickly though?
Yeah, it did. Disconnected quickly. It's crazy. There was also a Raptor engine that was swapped on Booster 7 that night. So nothing really that major coming out of it being restacked while there was another stack going on, which is crazy. But if you move back to Starbase, there's a new policy going around where a bunch of the sleeving for all those barrel sections, it used to be done outside, but now they're moving it inside the tents. So there's going to be less updates on like, oh, this ship or this booster's tank section of this is being mated, and we could tell like how far along they are. We won't be able to get as many as those updates, but I mean, I think it's better for it to move inside because of all the conditions and like the environment and everything. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Weird.
It's weird. It's weird that it's happening so late, but also it's not, because like it does take time to build up a lot of that infrastructure and everything, getting all the equipment inside, and it's just interesting to me. Anyway, Starbase is lame. I'm kidding. No, I didn't say that. The production site is lame compared to.
Sorry. Run that back. Hold up.
Do you want to go back in the past in a rabbit hole while jumping out of a rabbit hole in a rabbit hole in a rabbit hole?
No, but I will record that part, and yes.
Okay, Starbase isn't lame. Okay, it's cool. It's based. It's classy. The only what I mean was the production site's new policy is lame compared to about what we're about to say next.
But
Better? Is that better for you? Like,
No.
I can like imagine your like disgusted face.
Oh no, I'm happy. This is proof that NASA's better.
Lies.
Yes, for the win.
Lies. Actual lies. I have evidence of that later. I have more foreshadowing. I have evidence.
KSC is better than Starbase. You cannot change my mind.
Yeah, you can't change my mind on that. You know what's worse than both of them, arguably, though?
What?
Vandenberg. It's the fog. Not the facility, it's the fog.
Yeah. Vandenberg, you can't see.
Good old Vandy fog. And by good old, I mean flip off.
I can't see.
NASA sees internship. Not at Vandenberg. You won't see anything. No offense to Adele. I love that internship program, and I really wish I get into it next year. Okay.
I really hope I wish I knew about it, but I didn't, so.
Sadness.
Very sad, but hey, good luck.
Okay. Jumping back into the rabbit hole before jumping out of a rabbit hole into a rabbit hole. Full stack cryo test. First full stack cryo test ever. First full test of anything while both ship and booster were stacked. Interesting notes during this test. It took a long time for ship 24 to detank, which seemed really abnormal. Also, this was the first time it was being tested on the orbital launch tower and mount, so it makes sense if there's an issue. It just seemed really off. So, it seemed successful overall as a test. And also, they seemingly tested a new tanking method for booster and ship in their methane tanks. It took a little bit longer, but there was no venting during that process, which seemed very interesting to me.
Weird.
That was just the first full stack cryo test, so there was a second and a third one, I believe, in the next week, which is now. That's crazy. We're now in the present. Too bad though. We're about to go back into the past. The present sucks. Elon reiterated.
We're gonna actually time travel.
Say it again.
We started the show off with DST, which is time traveling, and then we time travel 50 times.
Oh my gosh. You're right. I should change this. 'Tis the season of time travel.
So much time travel.
It doesn't even relate to this week. 'Tis the season of space travel. Wait. Space time travel. Hey, we're going somewhere now.
Space time. I feel like that's a bit long.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's not changing that. I'm just keeping the title. Anyways, Elon, also on Twitter now, because he's the boss of Twitter, because he bought Twitter. That's crazy. That's its own rabbit hole. We're not going to talk about that here. That's for your topic in, 3 weeks.
2, or I don't even know at this point.
Something. Wait, if we record Tech Week, won't that be, the week of Thanksgiving?
Okay, wait. We record... Yes.
That's crazy. Tis the season of Tech-giving. Yeah. I mean, it's not my episode, so it's up to you.
Given what I'll be doing next week, I probably won't have time.
Haha, that's what I thought. Anyways, Elon. He reiterated that Ship 24 and Booster 7 are still the planned ship and booster pair to fly to orbital launch test, and yeah. Oh, but he did add, unless they're damaged in testing.
Yeah.
So, which Booster 7 already had a boom, which boom. Yeah. But he said what he said, and I quote, "What really matters is that ship and booster production line is spooling up. Also, each new ship and booster has incremental design improvements. And that is evident in the picture I have here. I'll also try to figure out if we can post this on the podcast in some way. Probably not. I don't know. You'll hear us talking about it. But if you see in front is Ship 25. Right behind that is Booster 8. And then that is Ship 24 on the chopsticks. And Booster 7 is somewhere behind that.
You know what we should do? We should verbally say the link to this.
What link? I screenshotted this.
Oh, to the picture. Oh. Well,
check out Nick and Sweeney from NASA Spaceflight. I believe his handle on Instagram is something Nick and Sweeney. Let me actually check that for you right now, just so that you viewers can see how amazing a photographer he is. Oh, Austin's doing his TSA takeover right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's on Wednesday.
At Nick and Sweeney. Oh, yo, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna ask you like the dumbest questions too. Sadness. Austin did not respond to my question. I asked.
I'll give some time. I think he will eventually. He got a late start though.
Yeah. I asked him, how has your weekend been, Professor Willard, also known as his character he's playing in, I think, a play or something. I don't remember. So, sadness. Anyways, maybe he'll get to it later. But yeah, basically those are 4 vehicles in the same picture, but you remember how I just mentioned Booster 8?
Yes.
It's dead.
Ugh.
I did not expect that reaction from you. It's dead. Ugh. No remorse. It's just like, ugh. Anyways, Booster 8, we know it's dead because it rolled back, not to the production site, but it rolled to the rocket garden, which basically means it's a lawn ornament now. So, yay, that's good. I don't know what happened. So all of you people that were shipping Booster 8 and Ship 25, think again. Start shipping Ship 25 and Booster 9. That was a really hard sentence to say.
To be honest, these names are not it.
The naming scheme is good, but when you combine them together, that's where the nightmare begins.
Just call the combination like Starship 1 or something. I don't know.
Starship 1.
I don't know.
Okay. And then
B1.
Well, I think it was on that naming scheme at some point. No? Yeah, it was on BN, which is Booster. Yeah. Okay, to be fair, at least it's no longer on the naming scheme of SN or ship number or BN or booster number. At least we just took away the number. Like, not the actual number, but the word number.
Yeah, but the word number. Yeah, the word number is kind of stupid.
Just like how www is longer to say than World Wide Web.
Or maybe we should call them like S25B9 whenever you have like one going.
C25B9.
S25B9.
S25-B9.
Yes, but you don't say the dash because the dash would just make it longer than saying ship 25 and booster 9.
Right. Yeah, that's another inception. Gosh. We are like Mariana Trench deep into this rabbit hole right now. Within a rabbit hole, within a rabbit hole, within a rabbit hole, within a rabbit hole. It's crazy. Anyways, Ship 25. Going back to Ship 25. It underwent some cryogenic fluid testing. Where was I going with that? Starting over. Ship 25 underwent some cryo testing over the course of 2 days of testing. I had to change that in the outline because it said undergoes cryo testing over the course of 2 days. And I was like, it didn't test for 2 days. So, yeah. Okay. This is the update of Starship of the Week. Not really, but actually. We have an overall Starship update from both NASA and SpaceX. NASA announcing that SpaceX can basically now produce 7 Raptors within a week, which basically means every 24 hours you get 1 Raptor.
Okay.
That's a lot better than what it used to be. I think the cadence used to be 1 every 48 hours, so we are going places.
Yeah.
Ship 24 will also be destacked from Booster 7 prior to its going to its major test campaign for static fires. And in NASA words, it will be to minimize a high energy event. Also known as a big boom. So, we should trademark. Yes, trade can go at mock. Anyways. Trademark. We should trademark Big Boom, if it isn't already.
Big Boom. The Big Boom.
The Big Boom. Welcome back to Everyday Engineers. Big Boom. What is wrong with us?
I don't know. This is what happens when you're within like a topic, within another topic, within another topic, within another topic, within another topic, within a topic.
While in a rabbit hole, while going back to the past, back to the past, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Nice. Anyways, from NASA, NASA and SpaceX are predicting a early December launch, given the rate, the progression rate right now. That could very well change given how testing campaigns and everything go, but if 100% test success is a 100% test success? Huh? That made no sense. A 100% test success rate.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
If that holds true, then basically it's likely for the early December launch. Personally, I don't think it's going to launch until the Q1 of 2023. What do you think?
I think I'm going to expect Q1 2023 because SLS already let me down, and I don't want this also letting me down.
Oh, SLS. Well, SLS. We'll talk about that later. SLS is another rabbit hole.
Yes.
Okay. Starbase. Going back to Starbase, it's not lame. It's getting an expansion. Gosh.
Wow. The DLC.
Why do I laugh? Like, your humor is so bad, but why do I laugh?
Don't know.
It's Starbase DLC. This isn't Kerbal Space Program. Gosh. Oh my god. Anyways. In short, the Mega Bay is getting a rear extension. Oh, my voice. The Mega Bay is getting a rear extension. I would think maybe it's like to store Raptor engines about to be installed for boosters or ships. I don't know. New tents being built. And also the Star Factory is getting a similar extension to the Mega Bay. Also maybe for like fit checks on Raptors and stuff like that. I don't know. And now this is one of the biggest. This is what I said that was going to be bigger than the Starlink Aviation announcement. Amazon. You're familiar with Project Kuiper, correct?
Yes, somewhat.
It's basically their version of Starlink, an internet satellite constellation, but it has a lot of contracts, launch contracts, and it's basically projected to be fully operational in sometime in 2026. But 2026 is a long ways away. So what are the chances it could not happen in 2026? Very likely. So Amazon goes out on Twitter and during a press conference and basically states, "We are open to fly Project Kuiper internet satellites through SpaceX."
Huh.
Hit us up is basically what they said.
Huh.
So.
I mean, I guess. It's
Man.
not like Blue is going to do much.
Well, not until New Glenn is up. Gosh. New Glenn is supposed to launch next year. Supposed to.
Hopefully.
To be fair, well, I can't say this. A lot of the stuff I'm going to say is going to like reveal what I'm going to say later.
Okay, just then leave the suspense.
We will leave the suspense, although there's not much suspense. It's New Glenn. So, anyways, get out your notepad because you better be writing this down. This is gonna be like one of the top things on my Christmas list. Stardesk. It's basically a 3D printed kit of like Starbase. It starts at $44. It goes to $78 if you order it fully 3D printed from the manufacturer. And it's essentially a mini Starbase that includes venting. Like, there's actual ports where it will vent. And you'll pour some water in there. It'll heat up once you power it up by USB-C or micro USB. And it'll, like, blow all that steam out of specific vent ports. Super cool. I'll send you a video later, but it's super cool. So, yeah. With the price of $44 and $78, depending on what tier you go for, you get 18 STL files. So no matter what, you get a digital copy of all the parts. You get a 3D printing guide if you're doing it yourself, and also build tutorial videos.
Nice.
Yeah, so put that on your list because I want that. As if my desk isn't cluttered enough already. You know where I could actually put that though? Like on one of the shelves on my bed frame. That would be cool. Imagine waking up to like steam in your face. Oh, it's my reminder of cryogenics. I don't know where I was trying to go with that.
Somewhere.
You're right. I was trying to go somewhere. That is crazy. Where are we? Okay. Moving over to Florida Starbase. Not much. Those tower segments that we've been talking about for a long, long time. I only just now realized that these just might as well be a spare for like the existing tower just in case something goes wrong.
You know what? That actually makes sense.
It only took us like 1.5 months to figure that out.
That's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Me and every other space YouTuber like took forever to figure that out. And then whenever I heard it today, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That was not a very engineering moment. A lot of people are very embarrassed right now. So, yeah. Anyways, there were also 3 horizontal tanks that were exiting Launch Complex 39A. We don't know why. Maybe they're getting a different shipment soon. I don't know. I also love how in the notes I put 3 horizontal exiting. As if we don't say what is exiting. So.
3 horizontal.
Exiting.
And just like long pause.
Anyways, I want to tell you news come from Launch Complex 39A. 3 horizontal. 3 horizontal.
Yeah, 3 horizontal.
3 horizontal. Okay, anyways, moving on. Everybody gets a space station. You get a space station. He gets a space station. She gets a space station. Everybody gets a space station.
Yeah.
Yeah. This next segment is, you guessed it. You guessed it. Grammar. Space stations. Crazy.
Whoa, no way.
Our humor is off the charts today. This is either going to be one of the worst or best episodes we've ever done.
I can't decisively say one or the other, really.
Honestly.
Actually, no, the text-to-speech one was definitely worse.
I think that's the bar. The low bar.
That is the bar.
Just don't get sick, Derek. It's simple enough. Gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Crew 4. Let's start off with there. Crew 4 returned back to Earth on October 14th, carrying NASA astronauts Jessica Watkins, Bob Hines, Kjell Lindgren, and ESA astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti. I butchered the last 2 names. I'm sorry.
Cristoforetti.
Cristoforetti.
Depends on where they're from.
It's true. Crew 4 spent 177 days in orbit, and as put by Sarah Walker, the SpaceX director for Dragon Mission Management, say that 3 times fast, it was, quote, delightfully boring, which puts a lot of confidence towards Crew Dragon.
That's great.
Yeah, it is great, but it's also, like, really confident. So.
Yeah, right.
4 actual missions in from NASA, plus 2 for private, and 2 test launches to ISS, and 1 just overall test. That's really good.
Very, very.
Oh, I just gotta... So,
Wait,
another rabbit hole we're about to jump into real quick. What is
this
it?
the best track record
For what?
for, like, successful launches besides Soyuz? Would this make it?
I don't know.
Crew
What is the most... Actually, to be fair, the most like consecutive successful launches and missions is Saturn V.
Oh, it is?
I'm pretty sure. No, that's for first stage. Yeah, that's just for F5. F1. Saturn V's first stage F1 engines are the only engines to date that have a 100% success rate. Saturn V is not 100% successful because there's one engine malfunction during one of the missions. I would say Soyuz. Either Soyuz. Actually, no. Soyuz has had a lot of problems. It depends. It depends on the scale. Like, when are you saying is a start? You know what I mean? Because Soyuz had a bunch of problems.
Streak, like the longest streak of like clean runs.
I would probably say Soyuz. Soyuz, I would assume. Shuttle is also another good one.
They've had good streak of clean runs.
I think top 5 would have to be Soyuz, and just in some order. Like someone can rearrange this, but Soyuz, Shuttle. If you want to get real technical, which Shuttle? Not the 2 that blew up, obviously. What is it? SpaceX would be another good contender. With Falcon 9 and what other? China has a pretty good launch success for like some rockets.
Long March 5B.
Well, we're actually on the segment that talks about Long March 5B, so
why don't we use that as a segue?
Yeah. Let's skip Crew 5. No, we're gonna talk about everything else and then get to Long March 5B. Okay. Before I was getting into this long rabbit hole, our pre-engineering project right now is bottle rockets. My lab partner just called in and said probably won't be at school tomorrow. Sick. So that's fun.
That's unfortunate.
That is I need it to be recorded. It's just like I need a compilation of just you doing like body gestures, and then at the very end, just say that's unfortunate. It's like, whoa, that's unfortunate. I need that. I would watch that every day.
Me hearing bad news.
Whoa. It's crazy. That was a highlight of the meeting on Wednesday. Anyways, okay. After Crew 4, guess what comes next?
Crew 5.
No, you're wrong. It's Crew 5.
Was that not what I said?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways, I'm
pretty sure Crew 15 comes after Crew 4.
Oh shoot, you're right. Oh gosh, he's right. Okay, anyways. Crew 5 docked to the ISS on October 6th and will remain aboard the ISS until sometime in March of 2023. Also coming to the ISS was Progress MS-21, brought a bunch of supplies and fuel and water. That was on October 25th, and of course Progress MS-19, sorry, had to undock prior to MS-21 docking. Then it burned up in the atmosphere. What's up?
You misspelled progress twice.
I did.
Progress.
I love how, as I tried to retype it, I also wrote progress again.
There we go.
Progress.
Progress.
God. I am on something today. Okay. Guess what time it is?
Long March time.
Who's that voice? God. That needs to be like if Long March 5 had like an intro to its own TV show, that's what it should be. What you just did. The Chinese Space Agency launched the Mengtian laboratory module to their Tiangong space station. It's the last module for Tiangong, and if you look at the picture I have in the outline, it's crazy. It looks very inspired, so to say.
Yeah, very similar
Yeah.
to other designs.
But you know what the highlight of this launch should be?
What would it be?
Long March Full Send 5B.
Yes. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your state president, Long March Full Send 5B. Yes, sir! Surprisingly, we didn't hear a lot about this one re-entering, as if like that's good at all. So if you would believe it or not, it re-entered and splashed down in the Pacific. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyways, that's its own. I don't know. I can't laugh. Like I laugh every time I read Full Send now because I think of Long March 5B.
Also, it looks like someone's trying to sell my campaign stickers in the black market.
Who?
Not the black market, but just like college.
So I legally can't check the black market, but you trying to say something, bud?
No.
Anyways, back to the board. Maybe. Back to the board? I don't know. Should we go back to the board?
We can go back to Long March 5. Just
You're out. I'm gonna push you down that rabbit hole. You can stay crazy down there.
We got out of the rabbit hole, Long March 5B. You can go back in the
It's like, you know that like meme where it's like the road and then there's a sign that splits off into the two paths?
Yeah.
What is it? Left is Long March 5B. Right is a rabbit hole.
And it's just drifting.
Anyways, back to the board? No. No, not back to the board. Yeah. Back to the board? No. Instead, we're gonna go to the black. That sounded really wrong. Wait. Wait. Yeah. I didn't intend for that to sound like that.
But the Firefly mission was called To the Black. So
yeah. I'm gonna get canceled. Gosh, that's...
There's always post-production.
Yeah.
Good luck finding it. 123.22. Write that down.
120.53. 102. I'm just right 102. We'll go back and bleep that.
10120.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Firefly's mission that they launched a couple weeks back was called To the Black. I was not saying that just for the sake of saying To the Black. That was not a timed cough. Anyways, just updates on it. The orbit was lower than it was expected, and that led to, you guessed it, a fiery conclusion in a fireball above the Earth, which technically used to be a fireball at some point. Fireball inception.
Perception.
Overall, it was still a successful mission. The customers on board was still able to receive the necessary data from the flight. Not like the people on board, because there were no people on board, but the people who made and sent and gave them the satellites to launch. So, yeah. Yeah, the next launch sometime in November could be pushed back because of that. Really, though, I feel like it probably will, mainly for hardware updates and just more data, additional data analysis, because, yeah, you know. Okay, and then Terran 1 and relativity. Terran 1's audio sounded amazing. Like,
Ooh.
it's crazy to believe that, like, that's a 3D printed rocket engine. Like, fully 3D printed. It's crazy. Speaking of 3D printed, or 3D printers, sorry, Relativity also unveiled their new 3D printer called Stargate, which is basically just Gen 4 of Stargate. It's most 3D printers print horizontally. Vertically, correct?
Yes.
This one's horizontal.
Whoa, okay.
It's weird, but it's crazy at the same time. And believe it or not, it's predicted to be at least 4 times faster than the current 3D printers. And according to Relativity, it could make up to 4 terabyte hours a year, which, them being reusable as is, that's like 4 fleet liters in like a year.
Interesting.
So, we also talked about Capstone a while back.
Yes, I do remember.
Guess what? It performed its, what was the maneuver called? It was like really weird and dumb. What was it called? Let's see, episode 5. I did a lot of good names on this last past episode for Space Week. In with the old, out with the old, in with the new.
We've been having pretty good names for the last little bit. Techtober was kind of basic, but it was a good name.
Okay, yeah. Capstone performed its detumble operation. It did well. Congratulations. We are going places. It's safe.
Yay.
For now.
Oh.
The problem has been deduced to probably a leaky valve in one of the thrusters, which crazy, right?
Yeah.
But its detumble operation was successfully completed on October 7th. A bunch of pitch, yaw, and roll commands were sent and successfully executed. So, congratulations, detumble achieved.
That is good.
That is good. But like I said, for now it is safe. It still needs to be wary of such an issue again because you can't necessarily fix such a leak in space while it's that far away. Yeah. You know what you also can't fix?
What?
An electron booster coming down and losing telemetry during re-entry.
That's not good.
Yeah. Catch me if you can, said Rocket Lab. Yeah, you can't. That was really anticlimactic because Catch Me If You Can launched on November 4th, and it was the next mission to attempt to catch the electron booster. Last time they successfully caught it, but the pilot pulled a safe evaluation and dropped the booster for load issues or suspected load issues just to be safe. Yeah, the booster had telemetry lost during re-entry, and thus no one attempted to recover it using the helicopter, but it did have a soft splashdown and is recovered. But yeah, catch me if you can, said Rocket Lab. How about I don't?
Yikes.
So, good luck to Rocket Lab on their next mission, if whenever that one's going to be for their next recovery. Space is hard, and catching rockets is hard, especially with a parachute, because if you I don't know if you didn't know this or not, but what was it? Falcon 1, it actually was designed to be partially reusable using a parachute. But if you didn't know, the parachute didn't work all the time, every single time.
Yeah, being a parachute.
Yeah, most of the time it didn't even get close to deploying. And if you would believe it, the first couple of Falcon 9 launches still had parachute support.
Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then they figured out they could do it just by landing, and I was like, oh, crazy, isn't it? Except it was actually crazy, and now it's just quote, delightfully boring. Good. But, hey.
Boring, one might say.
Yes, sir. But you know what's not boring?
What?
Let's not have a moment of silence this time. Because ULA finally got its engines. Round of applause to both Blue Origin and ULA today, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a hand. I want to put like audio over that of people clapping.
The whole stadium.
Wow.
Get the audio from like the time when Alabama or Tennessee beat Alabama. I don't know sports. I just know that was a big deal.
Introducing Team 3465. It's an FRC thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, FRC. Very, very much of a...
Yeah, I'm infiltrating your server, Steven. Watch out.
I'm infiltrating your server.
Who lets you in?
Yeah, I let you in.
Yeah, you let me in, I let you in. No one knows about this, okay? We keep quiet. We keep low, and we don't talk about this. Only the internet's gonna know about this, which is like everybody.
Yeah.
Crazy. Where is our humor going?
I don't know.
Okay.
This humor is about as precise as Long March 5.
I swear, one of these days, like if I run for state office and then you're like one of the panelists like judging me and you say something, I will laugh. Like your question could straight up just be, how capable are you of preventing Long March 5B crashes in Oklahoma? I will laugh.
That would not be very professional on my part, so I will not do that.
Yeah. Tammy would be very upsetty with you.
Yes.
Anyways, Vulcan. Vulcan finally received its final BE4 engine this past month, which means the development is now nearing its end, and once fully completed, it will be shipped to Florida and undergo its tank testing, and it has a predicted launch sometime in Q1 2023, so very, very busy Q1. But I mean, what a factory. Like, y'all can't see this, but like, what a factory. Look at that thing. It's just, yeah, like
yes.
Every part of that, just, yes.
That's really cool.
Yes, I love it so much. It's like VAB, but like not VAB.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without the font.
All right. And really, this, for the past couple shows, has been like among the top announcements of every week. But this week, it's kind of just chill. SLS and Artemis. It's been chill. Literally. It's been chill.
Yeah.
Really the biggest update out of Artemis this past month has been a new, NASA has now announced that there's going to be a second lunar landing vehicle. So it's going to reopen its whole application process, and they're going to find one more that isn't SpaceX. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the second cut. Also, this is interesting because, like, where did they get this money from?
I don't know.
Like, I vividly remember the reason why they only chose SpaceX is because, like, they're the most flexible on pricing, and they said we would be okay with changing some of our own stuff and paying it for ourselves, and it's because they didn't have enough money on that NASA side, and now all of a sudden we have a second proposal, because that makes sense.
I don't know.
I don't know either, man. Other than that, Artemis is set to fly no earlier than November 13th at 11:07 p.m. Central Standard Time. And other than that, it rolled back to Launch Complex 39B this past Friday, November 4th. So, other than that, that's really everything for Space Week. But, I mean, you knew about this. I talked to you, but I co-piloted a plane this past two weeks ago. Two weeks ago. It was fun. I loved it. I didn't crash. I am alive. You should be grateful.
Someone's writing the Space Week. At least.
If I died and you hosted Space Week with somebody else, how would you feel?
I would feel overwhelmed.
Who would replace me? Honestly, if I died, who would replace me on this podcast?
Probably Adele.
Crazy. She's not getting back on this podcast, mark my words. I'm kidding. She's gonna come back sometime.
What?
Adele.
Oh.
I said she was not coming back, mark my words.
That is true.
That is not true. She will be back sometime.
Sometime, but like...
But like what? That was a real long pause.
We need to plan.
That's true. You also need to get a Tech Week guest. So if anybody, you want to be a guest on the next Tech Week or anything, just let us know. Shoot us an email, either at simplifiedspace21@gmail.com or whatever your Gmail is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I have been out of it today. Let me tell you.
I've been out of it. I cleaned my keyboard earlier today, actually. It was tedious. It's crazy. Everything's crazy.
Like, half of them, like, I'm able to hear it, and the other half I'm just like, wow.
Whoa. Well, you're having a long march moment.
I am having a long march moment.
You're trying the full send, and the full send is working just in the wrong spots.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, allergies, man. Oh, they are crazy.
It's just...
We are struggling. Your hosts are dying. Like, this next description is going to write, "You're dying hosts."
Very much.
Oh gosh. Well, let me look at some of the past episode descriptions. Let's go back to episode 1, which is probably like the most, like, one that looked the best. Out of control rockets going back to the moon and 2 fun-filled hosts. Join hosts Derek Pham and Steven Panda in episode 1 of Everyday Engineers as to come in hot with spaceflight news. March 5B, coming in hot. What was it?
Full send.
Full send. And then here's the fun episode. Google being petty, Apple being shady, and the dumpster fire of Intel Arc. Join our hosts Steven Panda and Derek Pham as we, quote, unpack these stories and converse with minor technical difficulty in the turbulent release of episode 2 with tech news. It was a very turbulent release.
Very much.
I love how we said we're going to go bi-weekly after the first episode, and then that bi-weekly turned, like, really bad because of that second episode.
Yeah, it just, like, fell apart.
Indeed. What was it? Our second longest episode to date, clocking in at an hour and 23 minutes. No Scrubs, Curiosity, Starbase Madness, and a Dying Host, featuring Adele Wilson. Oh, God.
That one was a good episode.
That was a good episode. I liked it. This is the most lackluster one ever. Gosh. This week, Everyday Engineers is joined by special guest Adele Wilson as they talk about Artemis, Relativity Space, ISS, Falcon 9, Starbase, and more. That's very lackluster. I should probably change that.
Which one? The dying host?
Yeah.
Yeah. That should have been. That was my favorite one.
Yeah. Me too. Okay. Then we I'm reading the title of episode 4,
Where? Oh.
So 1, dynamic island, and 2, we have bad grammar.
And controversial. That's awkward.
This was actually, I can't say that. This was like late September. We were dead by then.
Very much.
EVGA and NVIDIA breaking up. Apple's recent event. Join our hosts Steven Panda and Derek Pham if we look at these, quote, events and converse in episode 4 with techniques. You know what? I feel like, given like us or just like as a state officer or regional officer team, instead of saying converse, someone would say converse, like the shoe. And genuinely think the shoe. Success, failure, hurricane.
That was a good title.
That was a good title.
It's
another space week filled with a whole month of exciting spaceflight information. Join your hosts Derek Pham and Steven Panda as they explore the massive strides taken by small sat launch providers, a malfunctioning satellite, and a hurricane. And then the turbulent release of Techtober.
October, which is also our longest episode.
Yes, 1 minute. Not 1 minute. God. To be fair, this could have been this episode. It could have been 1 minute because it just said all SpaceX and then it just left.
Oh wait, hold on. This episode's longer.
No.
It's 1 hour 40. The call so far. So.
Your call. If y'all didn't know, his microphone sucks on his end, and basically the only reason why he sounds better is because he's using his phone.
Yes, I have found an XLR microphone, so soon.
Coming soon. Coming soon to a Steven near you.
Is bearable audio.
For now. It's Techtober, which means product announcements, keynotes, and company shenanigans. Join your host Derek Pham and Steven Panda as they provide all the tech treats this Techtober. It was a good description, I think. Good. Just good everything overall.
Good episode.
Very controversial.
It probably could have been the longest because it was the longest gap between episodes.
True. Was it?
October 7th to November 1st. That is almost a month.
God. Well, to be fair, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
There's August 12th to September 2nd. That's.
I heard you. You nearly said August.
August.
I heard you. Don't lie. It was kind of revisiting Techtober a little bit. I have decided that I do want a Pixel 7.
Okay.
So, I made up my mind. I don't think the filming and the pictures are good enough, like a significant enough difference between Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro for me to make like a meaningful switch.
Fair.
But yeah, definitely not buying Pixel Watch. Let me see. Let me actually pull out my Amazon wish list and just share it to you.
Look what they did to my boy. This is what they did with Pebble.
They did everything to boy Pebble. Here's my wish list. There's obviously more, including the Stardesk one and a bunch of merch. If you really look at my wish list, it'd be over like $2,000. Actually, it'd be over $3,000.
The boom arm.
I need one. I need one, and maybe one day y'all could like actually not like hear my fan in the background.
I can't hear it. Discord noise suppression doing its job. I see.
Right, but OBS can definitely hear it.
Both.
Logitech MX Master 3S though. That's something I want.
One of those. I should have gotten one of those, but I didn't. But whatever.
I should have gotten that for my birthday.
Anchor power charger. Let me tell you something. Okay. So, in robotics, right? You know, sometimes you have like the Raspberry Pi to do like imaging or whatever.
Right.
And we could never we couldn't find a way to get it to reliably pull power from like the actual battery because like the way, I don't know how to say it, but like
the way it drew power, like it was drawing power at irregular intervals.
Yeah, so like it's the battery's power is irregular. So first of all, that's one problem. Second of all, you can't put it through the like shut down sequence because you just push the button and it just immediately shuts things off, and that's not good for a Raspberry Pi. So we had to put it on a battery bank.
Nice. Nice.
Not good.
Not good at all.
That's like.
That's crazy. Well, that's about wraps up our Space Week with a little bit of Tech Week at the end too, and a little bit of pilotage, and a little bit of a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole, in a rabbit hole, while being inconcepted in a rabbit hole.
Yes. The rabbit hole.
It's that would be a good team name for robotics. Radbit. Like instead of I don't know, instead of like 8-bit, like Radbit or something bit, I don't know.
Just rat and then bite or
Rabite. Rabbit in Inception.
010101.
What is your FRC team name again?
Robo Lobos.
I'm sorry, Omega Factor sounds a lot better than that.
But Lobos, wolves, Robo.
Huh?
Well, Lobos is Spanish for wolves, and our mascot is wolves.
Our mascot's a horse. We won Imagery Award 3 years in a row.
Omega nor Factor have anything to do with horses.
Okay. So, we still won the Imagery Award with our mascot.
Our team has gone to Worlds.
So have we. I'm pretty sure like once.
Well, can't say anything to that. I think we're probably equally good, except last year.
Well, I think you're bleep.
Well, okay, you're basing it off of last year. Before that, we were actually kind of good.
I'm basing it off the robot.
Hey.
You can't hate me. You see your own robot.
It was good before.
What's next? I'm gonna build a Falcon 9 out of wood.
I mean...
Don't say I mean to that. Don't give them the ideas.
I mean, they're not exactly the same thing.
Bro, I'm gonna talk to you in college whenever I'm about to make my rocket engine, and you're straight up gonna say, make it out of wood, and I'm gonna cry.
That's a challenge now.
No?
Rocket wood.
That's no. Me and a guy at our career tech center was like, we should like lobby our physics instructor to make a rocket engine. And I was laughing because I was like, imagine if we made it hypergolic. And he was like, that'd be amazing. We should do it. And I'm like, no, we shouldn't.
Top 10 ways to kill your physics instructor.
Oh my god. That went 0 to 100 really fast.
I mean...
Gosh, jeez, I now know your intentions.
No, I don't really want to do that, but hence why I'm saying I'm thinking hypergolic rocket engines in class would not be a good idea.
You know what would be a really good description name for the podcast?
What would?
Hypergolic hosts.
Oh yes.
Hypergolic humor. That should be if we ever do like an in-person episode sometime in April, that would be really, really good.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should a nuclear fission powered.
You're all right. We're gonna cut the episode off right there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Pham. I am one of your hosts for Everyday Engineers, specifically the host for this week's Space Week. It's been a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole, going back in time in the past, back in time, while jumping out of a rabbit hole and back into a rabbit hole inside a rabbit hole inside a rabbit hole. Inception.
Yes. I'm your other host, Steven Panda, the host of Tech Week and sub-host, co-host, something like that for Space Week.
Sub-host, that's right. It's crazy. Anyways, we're not going into nuclear fission engines. We are going to cut the episode off right here. Everybody have a great week, and do not experiment to create your own nuclear fission, engine inside your teacher's classroom. Don't do that.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
Very bad. See ya!
Yeah.